It's 7:20 West African time. This is Daybreak. Thanks for staying with us. Now let's take a look at another story. The Senate has initiated steps to restore Nigeria's monetary sovereignty by outlawing the use of foreign currency for payments and transactions within the country. The proposed legislation is aimed at ensuring all payments, including salaries and transactions, are conducted in Naira, with the hopes of eliminating discriminatory practices and strengthening confidence in the local currency. This includes making it mandatory for exports to be paid for in Naira. The bill, titled A Bill for an Act to Alter the Central Bank of Nigeria Act 2007, number 7, to prohibit the use of foreign currencies for remuneration and other related matters, is sponsored by Senator Ned Nwoko, Chairman of the Senate Committee on Reparations and Repatriation.
Well, for more on this, we're now being joined in the studio by Gloria Okolugbo. She is the Director of Communications to the Senator representing Delta North Senatorial Zone, Senator Ned Nwoko, who sponsored this bill. Good morning and welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having me. Good morning.
Thank you. Now, I want to start off this conversation by asking, why are we amending the CBN Act of 2007 when the Section 21 of the CBN Act already states that the only legal tender in Nigeria is the Naira?
Thank you for that question. Before I came on board, I noticed that the analysis about the budget seems to be all doom and gloom. And this particular bill, if the Senate pays attention to this particular bill, and the President too, which I know he's been doing with Senator Ned's bills, it's the 2025 budget actually rests, the success of the 2025 budget will rest a whole lot on the amendment of Section 7, number 7, that the Senator is proposing. The need to propose these amendments come from the fact that the basic trajectory where our Naira began to fall, and everything, including tomato in the market, the transport fare, all began with the issue of the dollar. And so every time you want to do anything, everybody tells you that the dollar is increased. And so food is increased on our table. The implication was obvious.
Yes, but I just want to hone in on my question again. The only legal tender in Nigeria, according to the CBN Act, is the Naira. In fact, Section 25 makes it an offense for somebody to refuse payment for any goods or services in anything other than Naira. If somebody charges you in dollar today, it is already a crime according to our law. So why an amendment?
The implementation and the realities that we have on ground often differ from the policy goals and objectives. We have that in the law, but the position of the lawmakers are to amend bills to ensure that they give teeth to implementation. And so the distinguished senator has specifically asked for that amendment to ensure that payment for transactions, payment for services, goods and services, our crude oil, and every other thing in Nigeria, it will be completely implemented, and it cannot be done in isolation. There's several other steps that the senator has proposed to go with it. I give you an example. I wanted to go for a conference to deliver a paper, and I went to 4 airlines in Nigeria, and they required me to go and change my money to dollars and come and pay. That was my personal experience. So on ground, we understand what's going on. The issue of transactions in dollar, even your driver wants to be tipped with dollar. And the value of the Naira keeps tipping. And so along with it's not just about saying it is outlawed. Yes, the provisions are already outlawed, but there are other steps. Monetary policies must align with the overall fiscal goals for them to be properly implemented. And part of this bill is saying that first we should ensure that the parallel market is completely done away with. Until we do that, and until we have access to dollars across the banking halls, when we do need to use them properly for BTAs and things like that, we will keep having the issue of the black market and the hidden economy and the arbitrage out there. So there are several steps. There's also the issue of saying, give loans to manufacturers and enhance the ability for investors to come on board because you have more value for the naira. So it's not just about saying it is outlawed. It's about the other policies that strengthen the financial system generally. And when you strengthen the financial system generally, then you can begin to talk about the issue of stabilizing the naira and diversifying our economy, you know, which is what this particular budget is practically centering on to ensure that inflation is reduced.
Allow me to interject with a question, please.
Yes.
Who exactly is your target audience for this budget, for this, for this proposed bill? Because I think some realities are different. I don't think the everyday layman will say that they can, you know, they can relate with what you have said. I don't think I've come across a driver who expects to be tipped in dollars, nor do I expect to go to the market and, you know, experience a similar situation. Now, I can understand what you have said, that the everyday business person is complaining about the dollar and how it is going up, but I believe it is only in comparison with the naira that they are having to pay and not in actually making use of that currency. So can you give some clarity on that, please?
The part of what we're doing is communicating to make people understand the relationship. When people say the relationship between power and the cost of tomato, there's a relationship between power and the cost of tomato in the market. It's things like this that they are discussing.
And that is not disputed.
Yeah, but you're disputing the relationship between the ban on dollar. Now, when you ban payments and services in the use of dollar, you give a chance to industrialization. You give a chance to investment into the economy.
So is this a ban on imports?
No, we're saying ban on the use of dollars for transaction.
Yes, but who is using this? Can you tell us who this is targeted towards? That was my initial question.
Okay, the question. I just gave you an example. Across board in Nigeria, like I was trying to procure a ticket. Go and do that out there. You will find that they will ask you to pay in dollars. This is a reality that we have within our system.
I just want to ask, if when you were asked to pay in dollars, because I haven't been asked to pay for my tickets in dollars, right? But you've had this unique experience. Did you report the company to the EFCC, to the CBN,
I
or to any
simply took the option of not doing it.
Mm.
Okay, no, because you're talking about implementation of laws that already exist.
Yes.
And to implement a law that already exists, instead of going to the arm of the government that's supposed to implement the law, you want to amend the law to say what it already says.
Let me explain. It's not just by saying there's so many policy, there's so many laws. It's not just saying you're outlawing that, you're saying don't use the naira for transactions. Mm-hmm. The law, the bill is attending to other matters that relate to that, to ensure that it is implementable, that it is justiciable. And these matters I have listed. The abolition of the parallel market, enhancing the ability of people to have access to funds, loans for manufacturing.
Now, I am thinking some of the foreign or expatriate experts we have working in Nigeria here get paid by their home-based companies. The Americans are paid by America or their home companies in the United States in dollars. I remember there was a time when some of our ministers during the Obasanjo administration were earmarked to be paid in dollars, specifically Dr. Konjo Iweala and Chief Olu Adeniji, because they had been working abroad before they were brought back here as technical experts. So the proposed legislation, how would it affect the income of these individuals who are earning their money in dollars because they're based in Nigeria?
Thank you so much for that question. This bill seeks to abolish that. Expatriates and workers, Nigerian workers, there should be no dichotomy. Everybody should earn their money in naira. And if it is our law, everybody will comply with that law. Again, we also come to the issue of our reserves. This bill also addresses the fact that our foreign reserves should not be held outside. That's an addition.
Sorry, what do you mean by our foreign reserves should not be held outside?
Our foreign reserves are presently domiciled outside the country. Other countries have their foreign reserves in their countries, but Nigeria's foreign reserves are domiciled outside. There are implications to that, and that also, having our foreign reserves inside, empowers makes the CBN, there's a lot more confidence in CBN because there's a foreign reserve backs up our currency and it shows up the value of our naira.
I want to ask two questions now, and I'm very sorry for asking two at once, but just because we are running out of time here.
Yeah.
The first question is that President Tinubu said that he has abolished two different rates. So are you saying, or is Senator Ned Nwoko saying that the president has not abolished the parallel market as the president has said? The second question here, actually no, I'll ask that question. Is Senator Ned Nwoko saying that President Tinubu came out and said there are no two rates, we have we have combined our parallel markets with the main markets, this is the rate of the dollar. Are you saying that the president has failed in doing that? Are you saying that the CBN has failed in doing that, and so Senator Ned Nwoko wants to fix where the president went wrong?
I give you an example. Senator Ned Nwoko earlier talked about social security. There was a social security bill that he proposed, and the president had kind of listened to the proposals, and he has sent a bill to the National Assembly to create an agency that tackles social security. And so what we should be talking about is not him saying the president is not saying the truth, but the fact that the president is listening to the solutions on the table.
I'd like to
obviously.
I'd like to ask. I'd just like to reiterate the question. You said Senator Ned Nwoko is proposing a bill to abolish the parallel market, but President Tinubu has said that his reforms have abolished the parallel market.
You must understand that in a democracy, there's separation of powers, and there's the role that a legislator should play. Senator Ned Nwoko is playing his role as a legislator to propose bills and propose amendments where he deems fit. And as a listening president, backing up monetary policy with overall fiscal goals is very important. And what he has said to us is that he has backed up the policy by this pronouncement. So I don't think there's any conflict. I think the bill aligns with the goals of the 2025 budget.
Thank you, Gloria Okolugbo. Once again, she is the Director of Communications to the Senator representing Delta North Senatorial Zone, Senator Ned.